Why are you looking at me like that? What?
No, I really wasn't looking at you.
You were
for any
literally
other
looking at me
reason.
like this.
Like, I don't even know what to say, though, because it's just like you were just talking about.
Why are you gonna bring up Dick and Cock?
I'm sorry. Like,
do you know like what that's from? Like culturally, Dick and Cock.
No.
It's when Tati, James, Charles, and Tati had their feud about the gummy vitamins at Coachella, and she was like, "You were talking about sucking dick and cock, and you did it at my birthday dinner." To this day, Dick and Cock is like,
it's one.
Talking about sucking dick and
now.
Cock, and you did it at my birthday dinner.
And I do it too.
No, like, you're our generation's James Charles. Easily.
Yeah.
If you just picked up a Morphe palette, it'd be game over.
I would beat this face.
Hi, sisters.
Hi, sisters.
Can
I ask you a question?
Did you ever have someone kiss you in a crowded room? Did you hear what I was about to say as you said that? I was saying
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Good children. I have vocal note issues.
You do.
Yeah.
You're a little phlegmy and you have nodes.
I'm the phlegmiest I've ever been.
I feel like lately you've been saying, like, when it comes to singing, like, you're nervous.
I never said I'm nervous. What I did say is that I have developed I thought it was throat gonorrhea.
Yes.
I thought it was strep throat.
Yes.
I thought it was COVID.
Yes.
There's something going on and I should see a doctor.
Yep.
Where I I hit a certain note and there's this sharp pain. It's not a throb. It's not like a stabbing. It's like something is wedged in my throat. It could be a tonsil stone. And if it is, I'm going to be so excited because I would love
Get your tonsils out?
I want the tonsil stone popped out.
You want it popped out? And then you might as well just say, like, get the tonsils out as well.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Get the tonsils out. Not worth it. Not worth having a narrow throat for multiple reasons.
I know. And my throat is almost too narrow.
And why do you
really
want
narrow.
strap? Why do
I
you
don't
want strap? It's like
I
I'm
just
playing
don't
with the
think that
devil.
you need to get your. I don't think the immediate jump is get your tonsils out. The last time I had strep was probably 2019.
I mean, like, I don't want to tell you to lie to the ENT.
You want me like? Why do you want me to get my tonsils out? Like, I'm just confused.
It's like when I got my tonsils out, he took one look at me afterwards and he said, "You had some meatballs in that throat."
I think I have meatballs in my throat.
Yeah, you absolutely have some Swedish meatballs in that throat. Absolutely.
I feel like I'm drowning in the ocean. Somebody come and take me away. Oh. Why'd you have to go away from home, my love? Yeah, just say it. Bring it up.
I want to bring up Sean Kingston.
I'm going to bring up suicide.
I'm gonna bring up the censorship.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really crazy. I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully so, it was censored on the radio. But
I guess so.
It something was like that you can't censor us for.
We bring up the word suicide every 15 minutes.
And we try. The thing is,
we try to stop.
We try to stop. I've tried to stop at least. You go. You just go. At least we try to say, like, I'm going to take a long nap off the side of the building. And that didn't stick, I guess.
It didn't stick. I don't know, like, between when that, what song was that? Beautiful Girls.
Beautiful Girls.
Suicidal. They'll have you in
denial.
Okay. And then that was the same time as Rihanna's Unfaithful.
I
might as well take the and put it to his head. They it.
That makes so much sense. People, like, honestly, like, their creative team.
People have to really work around the clock for those. Yeah.
Someone said suicidal and they're like,
in denial.
Don't even worry about it.
It also reminds me of, like, remember when, like, songs, and I don't know because I don't really listen to the radio as much anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, when, like, artists would, like, come in and, like, personalize the song for the radio station. Everybody, or, like, the radio station I assume would do it.
Stop,
watching
like,
her, but she's listening to KTU. Like, that's insane.
Like, was it like
Nebraska? Like, Nebraska was replaced, but like,
it's like my daddy in Nebraska had BLI. Yeah.
Oh my god! Remember when I my BLI moment? When I was my first interview. No. When I was interviewed for BLI.
Can you refresh my memory? It's so fucked up that I honestly don't remember this.
It's kind of crazy. You definitely blocked it out of jealousy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It was the 5th grade English contest.
Imagine a class where in just 40 minutes you could visit China, slay a dragon, enroll in the school of witchcraft and wizardry, and not be late for your next period. In my language arts class, that's possible.
And it was like about how I
like propaganda for English.
It was just, I mean, I guess you could call it propaganda. I think it was just about English. But I went to BLI and they interviewed me and they recorded it and I was in the studio. You came to the award ceremony.
Okay. I do remember it. 5th grade was a blurry year. 5th grade was a blurry year.
I think I had an 8th grade.
8th grade was a blurrier year.
Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Good Children, the podcast where hosts Joe Hegyes
and Andrew Muscarella
reflect on their 21 years of friendship, growing up in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and all of the nostalgia, trauma, and self-loathing that entails. I feel like me and you haven't had a good conversation in the past couple of days.
We honestly haven't been talking.
No, not that much.
No.
Actually.
Yeah.
Like, the last time we really were together uninterrupted talking, I feel like maybe was last week.
Yeah, we've been doing things, Joe.
And like separately.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh my God, we are establishing boundaries in our lives.
I think is this what it feels like to be normal?
It makes me kind of sick, but also it does lead to like, I think this is better.
Yeah.
Like we're officially sacrificing the friendship for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think that that's amazing for everyone involved.
One day we won't live together. Can you imagine?
That's not gonna happen. It's just like, I'm sorry. I'll fill them in. So at one point, our theme this week was going to be fast food. And so we were like, okay, our snack should definitely be McDonald's.
It's the heaviest bag.
Bring it in.
You love to see McDelivery.
Can you push it on the table a little bit more? Thank you. Maybe take off the soda so just cool down the hot food.
You guys.
Sorry, yeah. So the McDonald's came. It's our snack for later. Spoiler alert. Yeah, so you're just joining in on the conversation. You're just here to hear us. We're here to hear you. And we're here to chat.
We're here to just have a nice little conversation.
I'm sweating profusely today.
What is it? You think it's like that waffle
like
shirt with like the overalls and the big boot with like severe humidity?
Isn't it really humid?
It's extremely humid. It's
very
window
hot. Open?
No.
I know that your window is open, but it's fine.
The thing is about you is like you like to assume.
I know it's open. I saw it open. It's like this much open. I know for a fact. I'm not wrong.
You actually could be right.
I'm not wrong.
You could be right.
I'm never
I
wrong.
recently opened it.
What if I told you none of this is accidental?
See, like you saying you're never wrong.
I'm wrong about like facts, but I'm not wrong about like things.
You're
Do you
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're so excited to announce at the head of this episode as well.
Guys, we not only sold out the first show, we have another show.
10 p.m.
And if you know anything about us, is that we're going to be sleeping.
We're going to be
asleep.
Cracked out.
Can we get cots?
Yeah, so at 10 p.m. on November 22nd, if you and the girls want a crazy night out in Brooklyn, join us at the Bell House for Good Children, The Late Show at 10 p.m. We have no clue what we're going to say, but we know what we're going to do. And it's going to be very special.
And there's potentially a guest. Very special.
Speaking of special guests, Midnights came out, and we've gotten just so many comments. I know there's a few Taylor haters in the crowd. I can't believe you're still here. Thanks for sticking around.
Thank you.
But a lot of people have been wondering. A lot of people have been asking
about your opinions on Midnights.
Yeah, I'm like not kidding. It's honestly been
I know.
incessant. The album came out, and I honestly do feel like I gestated another child. You know, like I feel like the work was put in physically, emotionally, mentally, and here I am holding my newborn baby. We will be circling back to Midnight, so I apologize for the strange transition you're about to witness.
You know, I honestly I feel as if though lately we have been hanging out with people, but for a while, like sitting in this apartment, I wish I could get poked. You know what I mean?
I fucking hate you.
You know what I mean? Like, I do wish I still used Facebook, and I wish that people were poking me. That was the validation of attention that I needed.
Were you being poked often?
Yeah, I was being poked. And
I was such a loser. I wasn't.
You weren't getting poked?
No.
Why am I so sad about that?
It's like not that.
It's not that big of a deal. You would always poke people that you weren't that close with. It would be like, oh, I met you.
But
I
isn't
can't
poking like flirting? Like that's the thing.
Then it got to flirting. I feel like I was using pokes to be like, hey, it's me.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Then it got to flirting, I think.
That is something. I mean, I can kind of pivot away from poking for a second. I'm sorry.
No, literally, like I'm poked out.
You're double poked up.
Yeah. You want to talk about poke bowls?
Something I've been realizing lately is all the times in my life that I was flirted with that I did not know was flirting. Yeah. In my life now, like no one ever approaches me. Like, no, like when I'm at a club, no one comes up to me. Like no one tries to flirt with me. And I'm like, no, I actually shut it down as fast as possible and then say I want to go home.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. I mean, like, obviously, I'm in the same exact boat.
That's why
Although I think that, like, I could be very flirty with... It's more like I can flirt with my eyes, but I can't flirt with my words. I don't even know what to say.
Opposite.
I wouldn't even know what to say to somebody. And that's the problem. Someone gives me a compliment. It's kind of like how we talk. You say something, I'm like, you're right. Someone gives me a compliment, and I immediately say, you too. You know what I mean? So it's like...
It's really bad.
It's bad.
I mean, I'm like, what stunted it? Like, was it like growing? I guess as we know exactly what stunted it.
What
like
was it?
Growing up gay and feeling undesirable. I would say is like the two main things that did it. Like, nothing ever felt like it, even like, especially the gay thing. The gay thing I've been thinking about more and more. You guys, like, I'm starting to think I'm gay, first of all. Like,
wait, Joe, that's crazy.
Like,
you're no longer just an ally, you're gay.
No, I'm an ally, and I'm straight but not narrow.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think it's like literally unlearning this feeling where I'm like, anytime, like, because again, as a kid, if something gay almost happened to me, I would have shut it down because I'm like, that's gay. You know, like no other reason but that's gay. So learning that as a kid and learning to avoid that feeling and avoid gayness, like, it's crazy because I'm like, I don't think I ever unlearned that.
No.
And like now, yeah, I can like hook up with someone and like act on gay impulses. But in true, authentic, not like internet curated situations, I'm like, yeah, I immediately do what I've done since I was a kid. And I'm like, shut it down. Shut it down.
Shut down.
Because, but it's like a reflex.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Do you think we should start going places alone? I wonder if I was to go somewhere alone by myself, if I would actually be pushed so far outside of my comfort zone that I would have to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, when I rely on somebody else, if it's you, if it's whomever, or my phone, like, it's game over. I'm just talking to you the entire time. But if I was to be at that place by myself, that's one thing that I was always like, oh, I could never do that. But people do that, and then you're forced to talk to people.
Who does that?
A lot of people, Joe.
Who goes where?
People go places.
Where?
People go to bars.
I genuinely don't think anyone does that.
No, I know that people do.
I don't think most people do that.
I think that it's an option
for most people to do that.
I think it's an option.
To go to bars and get drunk alone.
You don't have to get drunk alone. How did they do it in the 50s?
In the 50s, they go to a milkshake shop, be racist, and then get married and have a kid, and they turn 20.
You're right. You're right.
You want to go back to the 50s? Like, that's your
like,
barometer?
This stinks. I think I might go to the bar tonight.
Have fun.
Okay. Great. If it was just us, or if it was me and another guy or whatever, no one's going to come up to you. But it's also, why is it everybody else has to come up?
Yeah.
Go up.
Yeah, but that fucking fear of rejection, the idea of me going up to someone, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
The fear of rejection.
It's so prevalent.
It's so bad.
I've only even swiped right on Tinder. I actually won't, because I'm like,
you're like this.
I would be
Are you
so
kidding?
embarrassed if I swiped right on someone who wasn't attracted to me and they happened to have Tinder Premium and saw that I swiped right on them. Like, I'd be like, that's mortifying.
Joe,
isn't that crazy? Isn't that
so
crazy?
Sick.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Twisted.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
That's
why I like pay for those apps sometimes. Because I'm like, I want the pool of people who have chosen me not people who I have to like get.
Why did I hate that? Why did I hate you saying the pool of people that chose me?
It's sick.
It's sick,
but it's true.
It's couldn't be more true.
Sometimes I have to start lying on this podcast. Yeah, like, I have to start filtering it.
We're literally saying
everything.
But honestly,
but
like
karma's a cat.
Karma's a cat. If you're flirting with us, could you
direct and clear.
Please say like, just prefacing here, I'm about to flirt with you.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can we just not pick up on cues?
That's the thing. I was thinking about that yesterday too, because I was like, you're one of the only people who, even when you're not telling me the truth, I can tell your emotion.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell when you're mad. I can tell when you're like feeling something.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's probably why we are constantly together. And I was like, there's certain people who I can't read their emotions, and that freaks me out. And I'm like, yeah, that's like a me issue. And so, yeah, I can't tell if someone's flirting with me or just like talking to me. But then I'm like, it's the same thing as when I like realize that people go on a date with me, they want to fuck. You know what I mean? Like, or unless I do something, unless it's clear that they don't, like, that's why you're going on dates. And like, so I'm like, yeah, if someone's coming up to me in a social setting, like but that's the other issue with gay situations is like, I want to make gay friends. And sometimes I love talking to a gay guy.
I was talking
like,
to somebody about that today, and they were like, okay, enough with the friends. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, enough of the friends. Like, if you're going into a date situation, like, that person doesn't necessarily want to be your friend. Like, they also want to get to know you. So like, before
that's what I was saying to you last night when you were like, yeah, we talked a lot. It like wasn't a date.
I know.
That's a date.
And before I was going on it, I mean, like, I was the problem. It's me. Before the date itself, like, I was like, oh, like, I mean, like, I really don't know the vibe. Like, he's like just my friend. Like, he's gonna be my friend. And the person that I was talking to was like, stop. It's true. I was like, oh my God. I was literally like, smack me upside the head and toss me by my ankles. I wish. That's what I wish. And that's another thing that we need to process and put behind us.
Is the whole episode going to be anti-hero traits? Yeah. Is it the TS anti-hero challenge?
Yeah, it's the TS anti-hero challenge.
It kind of worked. I don't know, but I do want more friends. It just is like, how do you make those friends when you're gay and the only real ways to meet gay people are like at gay spaces or on apps? And I've made most of my gay friends by going on dates with them. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I agree. All of the apps is where all of my friends are coming.
Yeah. So like,
or through you. Yeah, that's just how it works.
Which is like fine, but also like, one, like, I need to listen to fucking Labyrinth and relate to it. Like,
the thing is, it's like groups of gay friends or groups of queer friends meeting other groups. That's how you connect or be friends.
But then aren't you sometimes in conversations with a gay person and you're like, are you attracted to me? Like, in your head.
The scary, sick and twisted thing is no.
I'm always like, are we flirting or are we just talking?
No.
Opposite ends of the same messed up spectrum.
Yeah.
We really are the problem. It's us.
Yep. Going from dates. I think I've always self-sabotaged in actually everything that I've done.
Okay.
Everything that I've done. Whether it's singing, testing, dates, friends, texts, everything. Texts for me specifically.
So you're self-sabotaging texting?
Yeah. I get a text message from somebody. I'm like, oh my God.
I can't respond to that
right now.
And then you never
And then I never respond. And then I'm like, oh my God, I literally can't respond now.
And it's gotten so much worse for me lately.
So
I don't text anyone back. Anyone.
No.
Like, I have so many outstanding texts.
What do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's literally like, it's debilitating. Like, it gets to a point where I'm like, I can't even look at my texts because like the amount of people who I'm currently ghosting, who I'm not intentionally ghosting, like, and it's just, I think it's like also like I'm on my phone constantly. Yeah. Like, it's like I gotta start doing phone calls.
And I also like don't want to FaceTime. I don't think. Like,
no, I'm so sick of fucking FaceTime.
I don't want you to see my face. Like, I do want to just talk.
It's also like, did we talk about this in the podcast? It makes me think of Sex in the City and how I literally think about this all the time on that fucking show. Like, they will go on dates and they'll be like, oh, like, yeah, he hasn't called me back this whole week, but like, maybe he will next week. Like, there was like no urgency with everything. Like, it was all like, oh, I got a voicemail. Like, oh, let me check my voicemail. And it's like, you're checking your voicemail for the first time in 5 days. And there's like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think I'm going to be sick. I think that going forward, we got to start calling.
I know, but
I think in my whenever my relationship comes to me, like, I have to, I mean, like, obviously, like, talk on the phone.
Yeah.
But I don't like the little in-between texts.
Here's my good children moment here. As a young gay boy, what was your experience like calling someone on the phone, ordering pizza, or like talking on the phone, picking up the house phone?
Joe, anxiety.
The whole time.
Why?
For me, I was always terrified they were going to be like, hi, Mrs. Hegyes. Like, oh, hi, ma'am. Like, I was like, they're going to think I sound like a girl. And then on top of that, like, the intense speech impediment, like, I was unintelligible.
Yeah.
But I literally dreaded phone calls.
Yeah. Mine was more like they aren't going to know what I'm talking about.
What do you
like,
mean?
especially like if I was ordering pizza, like, I would just always get in my head and be like, what am I ordering? I'm going to stumble over my words. They're going to laugh.
Yeah, it was like, you're going to laugh at me. Yeah.
Like, don't laugh at me, don't call me names.
To be, like, found out. Yeah. Don't get your pleasure from my pain. In God's eyes, we're all the same. I still, to this day, like, hate making phone calls. And,
the
like,
rate at which I would speak would be so quick that they would probably be like, can you slow down?
Yeah, of
course. I just wanted to get it out in one breath.
Yeah, that's my whole childhood.
And I mean, again, you've mentioned about the deli counter. Still to this day, I'm going to the supermarket and I'm picking up the prepackaged deli meat because I can't go up there and say, can I get a pound of turkey?
Because if they ask a follow-up, I'll jump. Like, they're like, weird. How do you want a slice? I'm like, fuck!
I can't.
It reminds me of my That's So Raven theory that I was telling you about last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, what is that?
You don't remember what I was talking about? I told you all about it. I told you I was like a whole breakthrough for me mentally, but it's okay. I'll tell it again. It's kind of fucking ridiculous, but it's fine. I was in the park on my laptop.
Yes.
And I was like, it's so weird that I'm on my laptop in the park right now. Like, everyone's thinking it. Like, I was like, everyone at this park right now is like, who's that fucking freak with the laptop?
It's like we gotta remove ourselves from the narrative because nobody is thinking about us.
That's number one. Is like, I assume constantly that everyone is either judging me, is finding something wrong with me, is making fun of me. Like, when I walk past people and I hear people laugh, I'm like, oh, they're laughing at me. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. That's like childhood trauma that I have yet to have unpacked. So there I am, like, I'm on my laptop. I'm literally on my laptop writing about being on my laptop in the park because I was like, I'm going to Substack it. And I didn't. But I was like, I'm so focused on, again, other people's opinions of me, which is crazy because this podcast is the opposite. Like, it's literally being like, anyone can take anything we say, either in context or out of context, and run with it. And, like, we kind of don't care.
No.
Which is insane.
It's crazy that we can put this out there. One, not care. Two, it's all over socials. And we're like, all right.
And yet, in my day-to-day life, I care so much about what people are thinking about me.
My biggest thing when it comes to social media, I've always felt like I'm a private person because I'm holding so many layers back. But it's also nuts because there's so much out there.
Yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing to hide.
So I have spent my whole life, because of this obsession with what other people are thinking about me, monitoring it and, like, doing things to avoid them thinking something bad about me. Like, even in the supermarket, I will not look at a product too long so that if someone else in the aisle wants to go there or is just looking at me and is like, why is he taking so long to pick out cereal? Like, I will just grab the first thing I see because I don't want anyone to think that I'm being weird. And, like, that's insanity.
But in turn, like, you are being
being weird. That's what I'm saying. And that's why it's That's So Raven. Because in That's So Raven, the whole plot of that show is that Raven is like, oh my God, like, I just saw this vision of something horrible happening. So Raven spends the whole episode of her show trying to avoid the bad thing happening when ultimately, like, those actions that she takes lead to the bad thing happening. And it's also just, like, fate.
Yeah.
So literally, like, my aha moment of the week was being like, I am being a Raven Baxter. Like, I'm obsessively worrying about the future outcome of something so much that I'm destroying the correct way and leading myself right towards the problem. And it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
But, like, also at the same exact time, what we sometimes need to recognize is I'm not the problem. It's not me. Because I feel like a lot of the times, too, I'm constantly apologizing. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I never got back to you. Or, oh my God, like I totally forgot to call you. Or, oh my, whatever. And it's like, you're putting it out there. And the response is always like, oh my God, like totally fine.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
I do feel like I'm always guilty.
I'm so
guilty.
We're so guilty.
Guilty.
It's that guilt. It's that Italian Catholic guilt. What was the time that you, as a child, felt guiltiest?
Oh my God, this is a therapy episode. Do you have one?
Mine was honestly, like, I think I've mentioned this before, but it was the first time I ever looked up boobs. Like, it was genuinely debilitating. I know exactly where I was when I confessed to my parents.
You confessed without them?
I had to. That's how guilt runs my life.
Okay.
It's like, if I don't say it, I'm going to internalize this guilt forever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to look anybody in the face. So I actually looked up boobs. I was like 8 years old. It was crazy that I looked up boobs. And then I was at my like grandma's house and I was in the parking lot and I was like, Mom, like I looked up boobs. And it kind of like goes in tandem with the fact that like when I was in high school, I got an alert on my laptop basically saying that like I'm getting arrested.
Oh my God, one of those. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I
got
mean?
one of those.
When it was like you are getting arrested for
like,
zoophilia.
It was like
it looked like the genuine
like,
FBI.
Yes, yeah.
It took over my whole entire screen.
And it was like
child porn.
Yes.
Zoophilia.
Mm-hmm.
All these different shit.
Yes.
I actually,
did you say something to your parents?
So I was this close. And for me, again, I'm so crazy that I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
I was like, yes.
Yes. Yeah, no, I know exactly that. I had the exact same thing happen to me in high school where I got a notification. It was on my phone. It looked like an Apple alert. Where it was like your phone is like locked and like it was every possible horrible porn thing you could possibly look up, and I was like, it's me, I'm the problem.
It's me. The thing is like it had a countdown clock and it was like, if you don't wire $1,000 within the next 30 minutes, you're gonna get arrested.
Imagine the government was doing that. They were like, we're fine with the zoophilia. Like, just give us $1,000.
Just give us $1,000 and like you're good.
But in those moments, especially as a kid, you really believe those things.
Yeah, because you're like, that was the point where I was gonna be like, I have to go down to my parents and be like, I need.
$1,000.
First of all, I don't want to talk about the child porn. And I don't want to talk about the zoophilia, but I need $1,000 right now within the next 30 minutes, or I'm going to jail.
I feel like I felt guilt a lot being the good kid, but knowing that I was also doing things wrong. But I feel like so many like teachers and parents and adults like treated me like I was an angel, or that I was like this, like I was just like perfect.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't perfect and when I did something wrong, I didn't even usually get in trouble for it because usually someone else would get blamed. And that was a guilt for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, well, now this person's getting in trouble. But I also was so afraid of like upending the perfection image that I was like, well, I can't own up to it. So I would like carry that with me.
Yeah.
And then I think that honestly going to St. Anthony's kind of helped that, because I was like, now literally no one has any, I have no reputation here. Like I stuck with that, and that was also a good feeling. Anyway, yeah, guilt has ruined my life.
Guilt has ruined my life. The idea of being in trouble has ruined my life. I haven't yet shared my honor council story, and I think it is necessary. So freshman year, I'm thinking I'm going to be a political science major. That in itself is comedic. You didn't have to laugh, but like it is comedic. So I'm like studying John Locke. Did an extra credit assignment. I basically worked with somebody else on this extra credit assignment and was like, hey, Mary.
Can I ask you a question?
Mary, can I ask you a question? What did you put for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Literally, what did you put for 1 through 5? And like that's actually it.
How many were there?
5.
Okay.
What did you put for 1 through 5? And like I know that I'm not gonna put the same exact answers. It's totally fine. It's extra credit.
Right.
No one cares. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's work on it together. I'm like, great. So I'm working on it together. I'm like, oh, I really like what you said, but maybe we should tweak it like this. And she was like, yeah, I kind of like that. So we basically like collaborated and put the same answers.
Yeah.
I got called to the honor council. My professor calls me into her room. She goes, and she was the head of the honor council. She said, I want to let you know, I'm taking you both to the honor council. You're both getting a 0 on this extra credit, and you're both getting a 0 for the course. And the honor council, you might get kicked out of school.
What was going through your head?
It was my first semester of college.
Right.
I was saying to myself, Oh, that's it. That's it. I'm getting kicked out of college.
Long nap.
I'm taking a long nap, and there's no way to go on from here.
I can't imagine what that did to you.
And that.
Did you tell your parents?
It took me like a week
afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like it was gonna be a long process. Like I wouldn't have known if I was getting kicked out of the school or failing the course until the end of the semester. And the honor council, you go in front of students and professors.
Very Halloween town.
Very Halloween town. And I kind of was like, wait, I'm going to court. This is kind of crazy. And that day I needed to go to in her car. Me and this girl in her car to do a presentation to students at a high school. So I'm the entire time thinking, I'm getting kicked out of school. It was like I was reading them books. It was crazy.
You were reading high schoolers' books?
Mm-hmm. No, actually, mine had not been in high school. I kind of lied. It was at elementary school.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
I was reading elementary school students' books. But yeah, I spiraled for about 2.5 weeks, and then she brought us in and was like, listen, I'm not going to bring you to the honor council. I realized that this is an extra credit assignment. Because I literally was saying to her, I was like, just don't give me the extra credit. Like, literally don't give me, I didn't need to do this assignment. Like, and we worked together. Like, genuinely, she would do number 1, I would do number 2. We would collaborate and be like, no, that's wrong. Let's put this. And we worked together. And it was like, if you think about it, collaboration is the key to success. Like when I get out of this college, like I'm going to be collaborating with other people. No one has an individual, like if you have an individual thought, you're going to work with somebody on it. Anyways, she didn't take me to the honor council.
Oh,
but I was kind of this close to failing. Me too.
The one feeling like that I ever felt was maybe senior year of college. I was so checked out. I like just did not give a fuck. I spent an entire math class designing a fake invitation to me and Sarah Gallo's wedding, like on an app on my phone, like just like on my phone the whole time.
Yep.
The professor in like front of a huge math class walks up to me, takes my phone out of my hand, and is like, you can have this back after class. I was so angry. I was like shaking angry because I was like literally like,
that's my
what
phone.
Right do you have in this moment? Like,
Yeah.
Again, if it was high school, different story.
Yes.
Like I'm 21 years old.
Yep.
Like you're taking my phone away from me.
Yeah.
Like we're 2 adults in a room.
Yeah.
I went up to him at the end of class and I was like, I'm really sorry. That was like one of the only times in my life I like got that in trouble in school. And it was literally senior year of college and I graduated that semester.
It's crazy that we can get yelled at or get something like get your phone taken away or anything and like process it as anger.
I was so angry.
I got angry too. And like I knew that I was in the wrong.
Yeah. But I was like
so
how
angry at them.
I know. It also like I think that here's the thing. This is my favorite thing to talk about. Men and emotion. We did not feel anger. We did not know what the emotion we felt was, so we replaced it with anger. And that's what most men in America do. Like, we felt something else, and it probably was shame. It probably was guilt. It probably was disappointment in oneself. But we are not taught as men to feel disappointment in oneself. We're taught to feel angry at other people for doing something to us to make us feel disappointed. So that is what that feeling is. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like, so yeah, you get in trouble in school and you're angry at your teacher. You're actually disappointed in yourself, but you're like, fuck you for like being mad at me.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as watching like men get angry with like when they like walk into a wall and be mad at the wall. It's like, no, you're like embarrassed. So it's probably embarrassment.
Yeah, it is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing that we're like, oh no, we're angry at someone else. But actually we're literally just embarrassed. And we like refuse to feel embarrassed. We're like, fuck you.
You're the problem.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
What was your biggest like comfort food? Like if you were like in a self-loathing
Pastina. And Danielle, Chef Danielle Epsy talks about it on her TikTok.
Danielle, I'm gonna talk to you.
Her cacio e pepe pastina.
The cacio e pepe pastina. My jaw was on the floor.
Yeah. Pastina for me, like, it is something like I made my mom make it for me recently, actually, when I was home. Like, it brings me back to being a child so crazily. And, like, it is the comfort food for me. Like, and again, like, growing up Italian, like, the way that food was just seen as comfort, like, Italian so much of emotion and so much comfort was just put in through food. Like,
they're pushing pastina on you.
Pushing food in general on you. A pastina. Have a bad day, you're gonna
like sick. Oh, let me make you a little pastina.
Always sad. Pastina. Bad grade. Pastina. Big test. Pastina. everything.
And I like my pastina
thick
and
buttery.
buttery.
Okay, this is the part where we're circling back to Midnights. Anyway, yeah, I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? I'm going to just quickly rank the songs.
Okay.
So I'm going to say number 1. Let's just go through it, and we could both give quick opinions. Lavender Haze.
I like it. I do. It's not my favorite on the album, but I do think it's a great way to open the album.
I agree. I really hated it the first time I listened to it, but I'm always afraid of change.
And it's the first one I heard on the radio.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah. I was hoping for more Folklore Evermore, so I was like immediately turned off, but now I am obsessed with it.
Yeah, of course.
I like something about that Meet Me at Midnight does make me...
You laugh.
I laugh every time. It does make me laugh. She loves to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
She's spoken word.
Meet Me at Midnight.
Maroon.
I mean,
what can you say about Maroon?
It's honestly a sleeper hit. Like, it's a hit for sure, but I wouldn't put that in my top 3.
Oh, it's like top 5 for me. Anti-hero.
Let's just say it. The first time we heard Sexy Baby, it kind of was almost like Taylor Swift was done for.
What can I say? That's not about 9/11.
Devastating.
Now I think it's one of the premier lines
top
in the
5
entire
lyrics.
album.
Yep.
Truly. Don't you feel like everybody is a sexy baby
and I'm a monster on the hill?
hill? Yeah. Antihero is probably her best lead single of all time. Snow on the Beach. Listen, I'm sick of the memes. I'm sick of the fucking shit. I'm sorry. Taylor Swift is not making collaborations. She's not making duets. She's collaborating with other songwriters. Like, if you wanted a duet, like, watch Grease. Why do you want a duet from Taylor Swift?
Yeah, leave it to Sandy.
I'm so confused. Like, everyone who's like, oh, she muted Lana's mic. Like, no, Lana wrote most of that song. Like, you can tell lyrically that's a Lana Del Rey song. Like, that is the purpose. Taylor's a songwriter. Like, when she is collaborating with artists, she respects their writing styles.
And let me just say something. If you don't like this album, that's what it is. If you don't like this album, read a book. And I had to say the same thing to myself. Like, is it reading a book or is it just listening to the album?
And the emotion in her voice.
Yes.
She's able to really convey emotion with her singing.
You're on your own, kid. You always have been. That one made me cry.
I have listened to that song, I would say, upwards of 400 times. Today is the Wednesday after the album came out. I actually have sobbed. I've laughed. I've almost thrown up. I've wanted to jump in front of a bus. I've wanted to jump in front of a train.
Absolutely.
Wanted to jump off the roof.
Yes.
I've wanted to go back in time and like hug my high school self.
Yes.
I've wanted to be 15 and like run away from home. I've wanted to make music. I've wanted to win a Grammy. I wanted to have a Reputation era. Like everything in that song felt so resonant with me in a crazy way. In a way with like it's.
And if you know anything about Joe, you love to resonate.
I live to resonate.
You live to resonate.
That's why I love this woman, because she does such a good job at making you resonate with her art. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm on my own, kid. I always have been.
When you heard, again, like, I hate to take it back to Antihero, but when you heard that song, were you fucked up?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shit.
Yes. And like knowing that like the album was gonna be like an introspective, like self-loathing album, like there's no one who loathes self more than me. Like I live to self-loathe. It is like up there for me. Like one of my favorite things to do is like sit in my room and grapple with the idea of being a person. Like that's one of my favorite activities.
A horrible person.
Yes, being a bad person. Like the things I've done wrong, the people I've hurt, like the way that like just my life impacts other people. I live to grapple with it.
Yeah.
And I live as if I literally am Taylor Swift, like as if I'm dealing with that level of stress at all times. And I'm like, thank God she's finally helping me work through it by leaning in. And I've never felt on my own in my entire life. And now I always have been. You know what I mean? Like that one fucked me up. I was like, yeah.
I'm like, I don't even exist.
Oh my God. Midnight Rain, the James Charles feature, I might as well be on the album.
I think the first time I heard it, I screamed.
You got really scared. You got really scared.
Like, I thought it was wrong. I thought something went wrong. I was like, no, like it's not working.
But like now I love it.
Yeah.
But it literally is like, we will need a ride. I was making love.
Can I ask you a question?
This is my Cowboy Like Me on this album. I love the song. If someone put a gun to my head and said explain what this song's about, I would say I have literally no idea. Vigilante shit.
She did what she had to do. It's the one song that she wrote on the album, and that's where we're gonna leave that.
I do think that, like,
how do you feel?
I wish it didn't exist.
But the thing is, like, how do you feel? Because it's like, if that was what she had her hands in, and like that's her one.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
That's my thing.
Yeah,
I wrote this. I put it on the album, and you, as the swiftest Swiftie there is, all she wants, just like I said about Domino's, is your approval.
Joe. No, she doesn't. She doesn't need my approval.
Yeah,
she literally doesn't need my approval.
I know, but like, I think that you should open your heart to her.
Listen, like, I do think it's a catchy song, and I think it's fucking funny that she's like, I reported to the FBI. Like, that's amazing to me. Like,
but you're kind of like, she's a 32-year-old woman.
No, it's not that she's too old to be singing about these things. Like, I'm not gonna say that. I just think that, like, the sound is literally Billie Eilish. Yeah. And, like, you've spent 15 years in the industry establishing a sound, like, and yeah, it's continued to evolve, like, but the rest of the album sounds like the evolution of Taylor Swift's music. And then suddenly I'm like, whoa, this is just like simply not that. Like, this is completely careening off course. It does give Reputation vibes, but I think it gives more like When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go vibes.
I feel like a lot of people that like specifically like the Reputation album don't like this album. Is what I've heard. Idiots. I agree. Going from vigilante shit to
Bejeweled.
Oh, it's Bejeweled?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's Bejeweled. And that music video.
Bejeweled was another one that for me, when the first time I heard it, I was like, I'm going to hate this song.
The Speak Now references throughout it are incredible.
I don't get the martinis.
That's Dita Von Teese's entire act as a burlesque dancer.
Okay.
Yeah. Labyrinth.
I haven't listened to it enough.
It gives me like clean. It gives me like You Were in Love. It gives me like her like slow melodic like pop. I think it's like a pretty song. I need to actually like genuinely be deeply in love, I think, to listen to it. Like I could see it becoming easily one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs. Karma. Me and Karma vibe like that. Yeah.
That chorus is so good.
It's her best pop song.
Envisioning the tour. The thing about her tours are, I feel like people sing the lyrics not like in a fun way. No, it's actually you're screaming and like you're like
it's church,
letting out like everything.
Yes. I do believe that when Karma comes on at the Midnight's tour, I'm gonna astral project out of the stadium and never come back. Like, I think that's gonna be it for me. Like, you will never see me again because my body will leave the physical plane.
I cannot wait. The sound in that stadium.
No, it's gonna be buck nuts.
It's gonna be buck nuts. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
Sweet Nothing. Again, like I love it. I love it. I love All That You Ever Wanted From Me was Sweet Nothing. That makes me want to self and like I deeply love it. I love the little piano. Mastermind.
I think that one's my favorite song. I do think it's my favorite song.
I'm not even gonna say a word about it because truly, I mean, I could, but I think it's literally her best song of all time. I think it is her thesis. I think it is the best thing she's ever put out. It is the most self-referential, yet not like in a corny way, like beautiful, stunning, completely not ever been done before Taylor Swift song, and I'm just like so grateful for that.
For that woman. Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor.
How do you even transition?
I have no idea. It's time for The Girls' Room. Okay, this is a good one because I think it's both fun and it relates to us feeling like the problem it's me. Why do I feel so slutty seeing more than one person at a time? No more slut shaming. Go sluts.
I don't think I can emotionally handle that.
I know, it's tough. That's really tough. Problem.
If you can emotionally handle that, good for you.
Here's the thing. I really think I can. I think it's shockingly something I've only done it literally one time. Last fall, I was seeing 3 different men for like a matter of the layover time was probably a month, like for all 3.
I feel like it makes sense.
I love the idea of a boyfriend, but I also think that like I have learned a lesson when it comes to dating where like sometimes getting into something too soon is it just like leads to like more emotions if it doesn't work out, and also like it just is sometimes like weird. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't want to like literally meet all of your friends and like know all this shit about you and like call you my boyfriend like I met you 3 months ago. Like that's intense to me. And then I'm also like, well, if I do want that, like I don't want to only do that because like you're the only person I'm pursuing and it becomes convenient. Like that's something that freaks me out because I think I've done that in the past, and that comes from living at home trauma. Yeah. Because like I had one go at it. Every time I started dating someone when I was on Long Island, I was like, literally because the first night I slept over, it would be like the first time we hooked up. Yeah. Like, I was never like, all right, I'm gonna go home. If I was staying over, I was staying over. Yeah. And the idea of seeing more than one person at a time, I don't think you should feel slutty at all. I think you should feel actually like ethically responsible. But also, it's fine to feel slutty. Yeah. That's fine. But yeah, you're literally like playing the field and like getting to know a person, and you're actually doing something better for both of you by being like, I'm going to see if you're the one or not. I'm going to see a few people. I'm going to figure it out.
But cut the cord when it feels right. When you prolong seeing multiple people at the same exact time and their other person's emotions progress.
Yeah, that's a scary
That's when it gets scary.
It's also great to communicate. I think communicating is great. It's crazy to sit next down with someone after 4 dates and be like, I'm not seeing anyone else. Yeah. Like, but if you can do that in a casual way, amazing. Work through your guilt, work through your shame about being a slut. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with it. But also, like, I think the word slut and the concept of a slut is like not really real. Like we just are all people. Like we're all animals. Yep. Fucking, sucking, tucking,
plucking,
bucking. We're having a little tiny teensy snacky wacky.
I don't like inflation, you guys. It's not great. What is this?
We're eating McDonald's fries.
These are some of the worst fries I've ever had in my life.
And it's not even their fault. Like we ordered this an hour and a half ago and it came in 10 minutes.
But I can tell from writing into that, it's not because they've waited too long. They weren't good in the first place. They weren't crispy crunchy. I like crispy crunchy fries. I like the little...
No, I disagree. Like you like a huge stirring moment.
I like the small ones.
No, I love a soggy fry. Like, this is my ideal French fry.
Dipping your fries in a milkshake, dipping your fries in any ice cream, dipping your fries in anything... You can't beat it. A Frosty, done.
The speed at which we eat needs to be investigated by actually the FBI.
Yeah.
Because I just ate about half that thing in about 10 seconds. And it's not even like I'm enjoying it. No. And it's not even like I'm paying attention to it. I'm shoving my fingers in, grabbing as many fries as I physically can, immediately 3 bites, swallowing it, and going right back for more. Yeah. Like I've never eaten in my entire life.
No, it's like you're not eating for pleasure. You're eating for like a purpose.
And yeah, meanwhile, I only eat for pleasure. Well, this was a weird episode.
I mean, like this is what happens when you don't go in with like literally any information, any prompts, anything. But this is also what happens when you listen to Taylor Swift.
It is. When you continue to keep the candles burning and you drudge deeper into the midnights and find yourself.
Because she's a mastermind and now I'm hers. So anything that she's feeling, I'm also feeling.
Yeah, and I'm feeling a lot, and I'm really kind of glad that we did this episode. Like, I do think it's a little bit different for us, and I do think that, like, we were saying this during our bathroom break, like, we've had serious conversations on the pod, but we kind of have strayed away from them in the past, like, I would say 3 months. Yeah. So it's glad to like get back to it for a second.
I do like being, I mean, like, while we're always at a 100, I like being serious.
I like being serious. I think that it's like a good reminder that like
we're people.
And also that like, you know, like we don't always have to, like in general, like not us, like we as a collective, like we don't always have to like look on the bright side. Like we can We can lie awake in love and in fear and in turmoil and in tears. And we can stare at walls and drink until they speak back. Like, we twist in our self-made cages and we pray that we aren't, right this minute, about to make some fateful, life-altering mistake.
Amen.
We can look at the floors we pace and the demons we face. For all of us who've tossed and turned and decided to keep the lanterns lit and go searching, hoping that just maybe, when the clock strikes 12, we'll meet ourselves. And I feel like, if anything, I've been meeting myself along the way on this podcast.
Yeah,
I was
agree.
quoting Taylor Swift just now, her album launch.
You're kidding me.
All right.
All right.
On that note, now for an exclusive clip from Good Children.
Bad influences.
I did try to jump off the Gaga boat. I'm just gonna say it. And I'm not even, it's not even like I was exaggerating. I'm not suicidal. I'm barely depressed. I was separated from Andrew. I was like, he's honestly having fun. I should jump off the boat. What would you rate your top 5 favorite fast food chains?
Let's go. Taco Bell 1.
McDonald's.
Popeyes. Wendy's. I was going to say Checkers. And the only reason I said Checkers is because I really went through a period when I was like only going to Checkers in high school to get their banana milkshake. It was so good.
You're nuts.
Yeah, I would go there all the time.
You're one of the craziest girls I've ever met.
I would go there all the time for a banana milkshake. Are we nuts?
I'll say one thing about us. And we are actually genuinely the most delusional, insane, psychotic people I think anyone we know knows. That was an exclusive clip from Good Children.
Bad influences.
Available only on Patreon.
$7.
Don't forget to check out our Patreon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tweet about us, #GoodChildrenPod.
Rate, review, buy a ticket to our live show.
Don't forget to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at GoodChildrenPod. I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes.
I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella.
And I guess we'll see you next week.
We'll see you
Or
then.
we'll see you on Friday on Patreon.
I stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
Da-na, da-na-na-na.
It's always a
Good time.